Well, good evening. I'm Scott Mason.
I'm Michelle Gillespie. Good to see you.
Yes, and I'm digging this music in the background.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. I like it.
So we're here a little early before the start of our 8 o'clock show, our 8 o'clock variety talent show. Just to warm things up a little bit and reflect on last year because it was so exciting. Last year was the first time that Chapel Street players participated in Do More 24, and we're happy to be doing it again. We've got so much planned.
We do. It's going to be a fun night.
It's not just tonight, Michelle, but we're going to talk during our show about all the other events that Chapel Street is doing for Do More 24, and we have a very special surprise. We have a special incentive that Chapel Street Players is doing just for Do More 24 that involves our potentially new facilities. So we'll be talking about that. But it was so much fun last year watching the different acts that were on. And let's try to get the party started with one of our winners of getting the most donations last year during the talent show. It was Gabby Rambo, yes, and she, thank you. I'm so bad with names. And she sang a song about a party. So let's get a party started by watching just a little bit of the performance last year from Gabby Rambo.
Fortune or fame. I don't need a new career, a sympathetic ear, a name. All I need is time to play. Only once again, point me to the mic. I know what I like. Don't you wanna be the life of the party? Don't you wanna be the crowd? Don't you wanna feel those shivering fits till someone calls it quits or someone calls a stop?
Wasn't that exciting?
Excellent. As usual, Gabby Rambo did a great job being the life of the party.
Indeed. And
She really did.
and she was not the only winner. We had two winners, and we'll have two winners again this year that we'll talk about during the main show. But the other winner was Susie Moak, and she's back.
Yeah, we'll see her later on.
We're going to see Susie Moak as one of the acts, so we'll see her a new song. Last year, she sang in her car last year.
She did, and she did it with an Irish accent.
With an Irish accent. It was very convincing.
I really enjoyed it.
This year, she's back with a piano accompaniment.
Yes.
So we'll explain all that later too. But what are the highlights?
Oh my gosh.
And she's back as well, but we have to set this up.
One of our favorites. One of my favorites.
I think it's all of our favorites.
All of our favorites.
Yes. So her name again?
Susan Shertock.
Susan Shertock, and you know her?
Yes, because I'm in the box office, so I see all of our patrons. She comes to almost every single show. She's an amazing patron. We love having her there. And last year, she played the accordion. And it was I had no idea she played the accordion, and she did an amazing job.
I don't know anyone besides now Susan who plays the accordion. She was such a hit on our show last year that she became known
as the accordion lady.
Yeah, and that accordion lady was so much fun. And so let's take a look. Let's have a little.
Yeah, absolutely. We have to see her again.
Let's take a look at Susan. I can watch that
I could,
over
yeah.
and over
And
over.
when she came in to one of the shows not too long after the virtual when we started opening our doors again,
Yeah,
which
in
was
September.
really nice.
When COVID, yes.
Yes.
God
I
have
saw her and I just said, we really enjoyed it. She said she had so much fun doing it. There's actually like an accordion association in Delaware of some sort that she's a part of.
Who knew?
She's great.
Who
And she
knew?
was very excited and luckily we get to see her again.
Yes, and not only do we get to see her again, and for those of you tuning in early before our show starts officially at 8:00, she's doing more than just playing the accordion,
which is even better.
But I love the fact that she's also in the same hallway, so she has a fondness. Maybe she just lives in a hallway.
No, I think it's probably the best acoustics in the house.
Oh,
because it's the tall. Yeah, it has to be the best. Because why else would you be in a hall?
No, of course it is. You're absolutely right. Or maybe she lives under the stairs like Harry Potter.
Like Harry Potter.
Yeah. So we have, besides Susan returning and Susie returning, we have a couple of other returners as well from the talent show last year. And we're going to have a total of 14 acts.
And they're great. One's better than the other.
And it's such a nice variety this year. We have monologues, and we have some stories, and we have singing, and we have groups.
Yeah.
And we
acting
have
groups.
We have some other local theater organizations or performing organizations, and that's really exciting.
Yeah,
and
community theaters from different states. So but they're in support of us, which is good.
Well, spread the wealth.
Absolutely.
And help support one another, because most people go to one theater, they're going to go to another. It's just the way it is. And so, and of course, it's all about tonight, Do More 24, and raising funds for Chapel Street Players, either for our current location or for our exciting new location, which again we'll talk about in just a little bit. And you'll see on the screen there, if you're already in the mood to be generous, we appreciate all generosity. You can see where to go, Chapel Street Players, www.chapelstreetplayers. I'm glad we're having this warm up. Yeah, it's good.
Awful.
Yeah. Let's try this again.
www.chapelstreetplayers.org / sugar.
See, this is why we decided to meet early, because get the jitters out, get it all out now. So
we start drinking now.
Those of you who are watching now, before we start the 8:00 show, you're enjoying what we're calling the bloopers of the virtual variety show.
Yeah.
My goal is to make you snort once at least during the variety show.
Many people at Chapel Street know about my snort.
Yes. And it's endearing.
It's annoying.
And speaking of learning about Chapel Street and people, you can also tonight, we'll mention this again later on, you can send your questions to us, or you can post comments, and if there's a question, our producers, we got to thank Brian and Peter, B&P Studios, that are helping put on this show tonight. And
it's B&P Productions, isn't it?
No.
Is it Studios?
It's Effervescent Productions, and it's B&P Studios. Look.
See, this is why we're doing
this.
This is why we're doing
This is not scripted, clearly. This is winging it. The rest of the show, starting at 8:00, will be scripted, mind you.
Yes.
Sort of.
Right.
We can't promise there won't be any mistakes then.
No.
But yes, we want to thank Brian and Peter and B&P Studios. And they will be flashing any questions you have throughout the night. They'll be flashing them on the screen. And so we're really excited. It seems we're about 5 minutes away, Michelle.
We are.
It's so
yes,
exciting.
this is exciting.
Make sure we haven't missed anything in my list here.
You have your list of notes that we're going to. I do want to say that if you look at any of the graphics, the music, all of the stuff that's on the screen during, we don't do any of that. That's Brian and Peter, and they do an amazing job. They really, really do.
Let's talk about real quick the rest of the events. We will mention them one by one during the program, because some of the people that you'll be seeing in other Chapel Street virtual programs are going to be also sharing their talent with us tonight. But at midnight, we're going to learn about ushering. At 7 a.m., we're going to learn about being in the box office. At 4 in the afternoon, we're going to learn about volunteering in general at Chapel Street. Big hour. We have 2 big hours at noon tomorrow, Friday. We will be having lunch in the limelight, where you'll learn all about backstage and behind the scenes.
And what it takes to make a show.
Yeah, putting on a show at Chapel Street Players. And then we're going to cap off the night at 5 p.m. with our own happy hour, virtual cocktail happy hour. So we want you to make a drink and join us at 5 p.m. And we'll, again, talk more about that as we
There'll
get
be a lot of
into the-
exciting announcements at the cocktail hour too.
Oh, yes, there will be. And we'll be tracking throughout the night the donations. We're already up to a wonderful amount. Last year, we made almost $6,000 in our first appearance in Do More 24. And we're already close to that amount. And it's only been 2 hours.
Yeah.
Not even quite 2 hours. We're up to, thank you.
4,980.
4,985. And that doesn't include the matching funds. And let's take a moment to thank the Delaware Division of the Arts and the Spur Impact Project, which was able to give the DDOA, the Delaware Division of the Arts, a pool of money that will be a matching pool of money that will help also support all of the artist groups under the DDOA umbrella, and which we are one. And so the money you're giving to us already tonight and throughout the 24-hour period is going to be increased. So all these dollars, $1, $3, $4, whatever,
Anything.
whatever you feel like providing. Because I know a lot of people are giving to many different charities
So you can
throughout.
spread it out.
Absolutely. And we, of course, appreciate any generosity.
Absolutely.
Well, we're almost getting ready.
So what time is it? 7:57?
Yeah, it's exciting.
Good. Good.
All right. Ooh, take a breath. Take a
Okay.
breath. Focus. Get all zen for
Yeah,
sure.
Then fix the hair while I'm in the camera. How's that? It's not worth it.
No. I will take this moment, maybe it'll make her snort, to explain that one of the things that we have to worry about getting into character, even when we're playing ourselves, is how we look and makeup, hair, and costume. And of course, I had to talk Michelle off the ledge when she had pulled out 27 pairs of shoes, trying to decide which one she was going to wear for tonight's performance.
I don't understand why
I don't know
obsessed
either.
with it.
I'm wearing pajama pants.
Yeah, it
like,
doesn't
like
even
we're
matter.
zooming
Like,
for work.
it does not matter.
No.
Nobody's going to see the shoes.
No.
But I'm a shoe person, so I guess that's my
Like, what are you wearing shoe-wise?
I am wearing boots.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure they look fabulous.
They do. They do.
I'm wearing my slippers.
Yeah,
Just,
it looks adorable.
I wanted to share
We
that.
tried.
Yeah.
I tried. I was getting nervous. And when I get nervous, I need my shoes. My shoes are it's like a security blanket.
I understand.
Do you?
No.
No. I think so. Thanks for trying.
Oh, look,
Appreciate
Brian even, he sent us a comment.
Tell me about your
shoes.
shoes,
Yeah.
Brian.
Boots.
They're just
Boots are-
regular shoes.
Boots are made for walking.
Yes.
And we are stretching out the time here. We hope you're tuning in. If you just tuned in, we are getting ready to enter the 8 o'clock Chapel Street's virtual variety / talent show.
Yes.
And we just got on a little early to get the jitters out and have a few laughs, look back at last year's winning act and the infamous accordion lady
Yes. Who's our
you
favorite?
you will see
I love
again.
Susan. Mhm.
Yes.
We are starting soon, so
We are. Well, we got to wait for the chime. We gotta
the
wait for
chime, yes,
And
the
then-
chime of the 8 o'clock hour.
And then we're going to have the exciting countdown.
Mhm.
And then we'll be back. But
Yes, please tune in, and you'll enjoy.
yeah, if you're already on, if
yeah.
you're already watching,
Stay.
don't
Just
go
stay.
away
Don't go
because they're
anywhere.
going to be right back.
Yeah.
You don't even have time to get popcorn
No,
because the show is going to start.
time to get a drink.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you want to get a drink,
Crack open a beer.
makes the show even that much better.
So much
sometimes.
better, please.
Ah,
Here.
you know what? That's the upstairs chime.
Jeez.
That means it's 7:59 p.m.
What? How many clocks do you have?
One can't have enough clocks. After 50, you have no idea what time it is. So
No.
it's always good to have it's like the warm-up chime to say, oh,
We're going to be chiming again.
oh, look, we've got somebody
Oh,
laughed. Was it
Oh,
laughter?
Danielle Marie.
Or
Oh,
was
Danielle! Hi, I love her.
Or is it kisses? I don't have my glasses on, so I can't tell what the
I have my
emojis
glasses
are.
on.
Well, you do.
I like Danielle.
And she's in the show with you.
Yes, there it is. 8 o'clock.
It's the 8 o'clock hour.
Stay there.
The Westminster chimes are telling us it's just about time to start the show.
Don't move.
Don't go away. After the countdown, we'll be right back with the official beginning of Chapel Street Players 2022 virtual variety show for Do More 24.
evening. I'm here with the president of Chapel Street Players, Scott F. Mason, and we are going to be bringing you our virtual variety show.
And I'm pleased once again, like last year, to be with my co-host, my co-MC, Michelle Opaleski, who I'm so proud and so grateful, really, that she is my most excellent vice president for box office. She's
Yes.
the one that takes all your reservations when you call and make sure you get the seat that you'd like.
So I wanted to welcome you to our virtual variety show. We're going to feature a lot of wonderful artists that are either, some of them are our patrons, some are our fellow volunteers. There are a couple of people that are even from different theater companies. So I think you're really, really going to enjoy our groups that we have here that we're going to be showing you this evening.
And we have 14 acts in all. And of course, this is all part of Delaware's Day of Giving. Today, Delaware's Do More 24 campaign, which started at 6 p.m. tonight and goes through 6 p.m. tomorrow night. And if you're enjoying the show, if you enjoy Chapel Street, if you enjoy live theater, please consider making a donation during the night. And actually, the donations will count in terms of voting for our talent.
Yes.
And for every donation that you make, it's not about dollar amount.
No.
It's about the number of
Number.
donations. Mm-hmm. And if you like one of the acts, send a donation in, and it'll count towards that act's collection of.
Yeah. And I think there's a place you can put in there to say who you're going to be supporting.
Yeah. You can make a comment and say, this donation is for
Ooh.
so and so. And
That's the
hello,
first timer.
Marie.
Hi,
We have
Marie.
Marie Stevens. Thank you for joining us, Marie. So, without further ado, Michelle, I think we should get to the first act,
Yes.
right? Yeah, let's do it.
So as you know, I'm from Pennsylvania, but Delaware is very close to my heart. The next act, the very first act that we're going to be showing you, is from somebody who wrote a song about Delaware. He lives in Pennsylvania, but his heart belongs in Delaware. He went to the University of Delaware. So without further ado, here is Todd Chappelle. He is singing I'm from Delaware, and he wrote this. Take it away.
Hello, friends of Chapel Street. My name is Todd Chappelle. What I'm going to do is a song parody that I wrote years ago, in which I attempted to name every town in the state of Delaware. And it goes like this. It goes exactly like this, as a matter of fact. I'm from Delaware, man, I'm from Delaware. Traffic's bad out there, man, I ain't going nowhere. I like polluted air, man, I'm from Delaware. I've been to Milford, Wilmington, Dover, Harrington, Newark, Glasgow, Seaford, Long Neck, Claymont, Georgetown, Marydale, Middletown, Lewisport, Penn, Smyrna, Townsend, Ellesmere, Little Creek, Laurel, Dewey Beach, Fenwick, Stanton, Frederica, Felton. I'm from Delaware, man, I'm from Delaware. Traffic's bad out there, man, I ain't going nowhere. I got a townhouse down in Bear, man, I'm from Delaware. I've been to Selbyville, Bridgeville, Millville, Greenville, Fairfax, Bethany, Delaware City, Rehoboth, Frankfort, Nassau, Cheswold, Pocahontas, Hartley, Arden, Hollyoak, Lipsick, Minquadale, Woodside, York, Lynn, Dagsboro, Delmar, Price's Corner. I'm from Delaware, man, I'm from Delaware. Traffic's bad out there, man, I ain't going nowhere. I got drunk in Trolley Square, man, I'm from Delaware. It's based on a true story. I've been to Milton, Lincoln, Houston, Harbison, Kenton, Clayton, Red Lion, Ellendale, Bethel, Lebanon, Greenwood, Blackbird, Newcastle, Edgemore, Farmington, Camden, Wyoming, Ocean View, and St. George's and Magnolia. I'm from Delaware, man, I'm from Delaware. Traffic's bad out there, man, I ain't going nowhere. I like polluted air, man, I'm from Delaware. I've been to Millsboro, Gumboro, Lebanon, Blaze, Odessa, Rockland, Little Heaven, Christiana, Belfont, and Oak Orchard, Viola, Red Lion, and Mont Shannon, and Slaughter Beach, and Bowers Beach, and Centerville, Tallyville, Clarksville. What a thrill. I'm from Delaware, man, I'm from Delaware. Traffic's bad out there, man, I ain't going nowhere. There's no more towns, I swear, man, I'm from Delaware. What do I like about Delaware? I'll tell you. I like Blue Hens, Blue Rocks, NASCAR, Dover Downs, Crab Cake, Frightland, Smoke Free, Ruth Ann, Apple, Scrapple, Punkin', Chunkin', First State, Downstate, Black and White, License Plate, DuPont Family, shopping is tax-free, Route 195, hope I get home alive. I'm from Delaware, man, I'm from Delaware. Traffic's bad out there, man, I ain't going nowhere. I like polluted air, man, I'm from Delaware. I've been to Deer Park, Dogfish, Deep Blue, Homegrown, Green Room, Kitchenleans, Mojo, 13, Grottos, East End, Charcoal Pit, Frog Pond, Logan House, Starboard, Bank Shots, Irish Eyes, Harry's, Walters, Bullseye, Cromwell's, Tailgates, Iron Hill, who burned down Kahunaville. I'm from Delaware, man, I'm from Delaware. Traffic's bad out there, man, I ain't going nowhere. I like polluted air, man, I'm from Delaware.
Wow.
Excellent.
Michelle, I've heard that song many times, and Todd has actually sang it on the Chapel Street stage. And so we thank Todd for submitting that to our talent show.
Yes.
And coming up next, I just got to check my notes.
It's Herb Frank.
Oh,
I
yes,
think.
yes,
Yep.
yes, yes.
Mhm.
So Todd has been a performer, and of course, there's other performers that have submitted for tonight.
Mhm.
But just like having a patron
Mhm.
show up, our accordion lady, which we'll see again, we have an usher.
Yes.
One of our ushers,
Yes.
Herb Frank, he and his wife have ushered at Chapel Street for many, many years.
Mhm.
And Herb has submitted a very touching story that
Yes.
apparently is from his father.
Yes.
So without further ado, here is our dedicated usher, Herb Frank, with a story.
My name is Herbert Frank. I'd like to relate to you a story as told to me by my father. My father is a first-generation American, or he was a first-generation American. His father, an immigrant from a town called Nemirov. It's now located in Ukraine. It formerly was in Russia. My father was born in 1910, and in 1923, he was 13. Now, 13 is a very significant time for a young Jewish boy because he was going to become a bar mitzvah. A bar mitzvah is a ceremony where he becomes a man in the eyes of his religious congregation. Since this is a time of joy and pride, it merited his very first suit that was entirely his own, was not a hand-me-down. My grandfather went to a clothier, a gentleman's clothier by the name of Crass Brothers in Philadelphia. Now, Crass Brothers was known to have reasonably good clothing at reasonable prices, but more than that, they were known to be negotiators. Now, negotiation, or as it's known in Jewish handling, was my grandfather's forte. So, my grandfather took my father in hand. They went to Crass Brothers. He also knew that if you go on the very first day of the month, it's a good time to negotiate because the salesman wants to make that sale. He wants to make that sale because it portends a good month if he makes the sale and a bad month if he doesn't. And of course, he needs the commissions. So my grandfather looked around at the various suits, and as he went through each one, the salesman extolled its virtues, and my grandfather downplayed their virtues. He denigrated the suits. This one is too shiny, this one is too rough, this one has no good material, this one's too warm, so on and so forth. Eventually they arrive at a suit, and the salesman says, well, that's a very fine suit, and we will alter it for your son. The cost of that suit, and here I must digress for a moment, because I don't know truly how much money the suit was, or how much my grandfather offered. But as my father related the story, and he too didn't remember, we'll choose an arbitrary number, let's say $100. So the salesman said, you can have the suit for $100, including free alterations. My grandfather said, I'll give you 50. The salesman said, 50? That's outrageous. My grandfather says, look, it's my money. It's your suit. If you don't want my money, goodbye. The salesman grabbed him by the shoulder and says, wait a minute. Do you have family? My grandfather says, do I have family? I've got brothers, I've got sisters. The salesman said, I'll tell you what. You tell your family about me. You can have the suit for $80. My grandfather says, I'll give you 40. The salesman says, 40? That's not the way you negotiate. I come down, you go up, we meet. My grandfather says, look, it's your suit. It's my money. If you don't like it, I'll leave. The salesman says, wait. He says, do you have friends? My grandfather says, friends? I belong to a social club. I have work. I have plenty of friends. The salesman says, I'll tell you what. If you tell your friends about me, I'll give you the suit for $60. My grandfather looks at him. He says, I'll give you 30. The salesman says, what do you want to do? You're ripping my hair out. He says, this is not the way you negotiate. My grandfather says, look, it's your suit. It's my money. If you don't like it, I'll leave. The salesman says, look, I can't take it anymore with you. Take the damn suit. Get out of here. My grandfather says, I want 2 pair of pants.
He's the best. I love Herb Frank. Herb not only ushers with his wife, Cynthia, but he's also helped me in the box office too. So the volunteering that he does is wonderful, and what a great story.
And perhaps he needs to be on stage, is what I'm thinking.
I think he does.
Yes.
Totally does.
Yes.
Yes, I'm going to like twist his arm, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was reminded of Tevye, making the deals in Fiddler on the Roof. He could be Tevye if he can sing.
Yeah, he might. I never know. We could find out. So Herb also, like I said, volunteered at the box office. He's an usher. Him and his wife have been ushers. Speaking of ushers, our next performer is our very own VP of house management. Her name is Cindy Starcher, and she will be performing a monologue called, I want to make sure I get it right. It's called The Baptist Gourmet. It's hysterical. It was written,
the Galloping Gourmet.
Yes, it's The Baptist Gourmet.
Baptist Gourmet.
By Jill Morley. It's from one of a one-act compilation called Naked Women Fully Clothed. It's a great one-act compilation. Anyway, she was in that. So this is our very own Cindy Starcher with The Baptist Gourmet.
Hi, I'm Cindy Starcher, and I will be doing a monologue called The Baptist Gourmet. Good morning! Welcome to Channel 64's Cooking with Tallulah. I'm Tallulah Lee May, your Baptist Gourmet. Now, before I lead you in a recipe, I'd like to lead you in a little prayer. Oh, Lordy, Lordy, help me learn not to let my souffle burn. But if it does, oh, promise me this. Someone in my kitchen will like it crisp. Amen. Last night, I was divinely inspired when the Lord came to me in a dream and said, Tallulah, you are my culinary link to humanity. I bestow upon you the celestial preparation for fried grits. Oh, ingredients are harmony, cheese, and that life-giving energy to all God's creatures, fat. But first, we must baptize our ingredients. You are baptized. You are baptized. And you are baptized. Next, we must finely chop our hominy and cheese, which I have already done, because they won't let me have the airtime I need. Isn't that right, Jimmy? Producer, schmeducer. Next, We put the hominy and the cheese in the skillet and we fry it up. We just fry it up in the name of the Lord. Just fry it up. Oh, Lord, this is going to be a good one. Oh, all right. Now, while we're waiting for this culinary miracle, like waiting on the second coming, I like to read to you some of my viewer mail. Oh, all right. Oh, Preacher Mapplethorpe writes, Dear Tallulah, thank you for bringing your fried Caesar salad to the church bazaar. Everyone raved over those cute little baby Jesus croutons, and the Parmesan cheese was like snow on the manger. Amen. Oh, that's sweet. Oh, Tessie Jo Miller from Duncan Road asks, Dear Tallulah, what is the rule of thumb in Southern Baptist food preparation? Tessie, has your cheese done slid off your cracker? Just slap some cheese on it and fry it up. Just fry it up in the name of the Lord. Just fry it up. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord, save us all. Woo. Okay, let's see. Who else? Oh, Sally Dunn from Peachtree Lane writes, Dear Tallulah, how can I make my home fried taters taste like yours? Oh, Sally, I seen the way you handle your taters. You just chop them all up like they was a double spawn. With each slice, you must instill goodness and ethics and morality. You must care for your taters the way God cares for us, and your creation will be as perfect as His. Oh, that reminds me. Let's resurrect those grits. All right. Just like the Lord would have made them. Oh, all right. Now, don't forget to tell your Catholic friends to tune in next week because I'm making fried St. John kebabs. Bye, y'all.
You know, Michelle, it makes me hungry.
It does.
Yes.
She's a good cook.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to say that was, once again, Cindy Starcher, one of our board members, our VP of house management. She's over ushering. And she will be on later tonight at midnight on our Facebook page, Chapel Street Players Facebook site. She'll be on doing a show about ushering, talking about ushering and how to be an usher. It's so easy to be an usher at Chapel Street Players. And there is our YouTube address there at the bottom of the page, so you can check out Cindy tonight at midnight. And, you know, Michelle, we've only been in Do More 24 for, you know, a little over 2 hours, and already the donations are coming in, so we can't thank you enough. If you'd like to donate to Chapel Street Players, and we're thanking the people that have donated so far across the bottom of the screen. If you'd like to make a donation to Chapel Street Players, please go to www.chapelstreetplayers.org/give. So easy to remember. Once again, www.chapelstreetplayers, all one word, .org/give. There it is at the bottom of your screen.
Yep.
So I said Cindy will be returning at midnight.
Yes.
But right now, someone else is returning. If you caught our pre-show between 7:45 and 8 o'clock, Michelle and I flashed back and showed a wonderful video from last year that was submitted by the infamous accordion lady.
Yes.
And she's back this year. So Michelle, let's talk about Pat.
Susan.
Susan.
Yeah. So Susan Surtalk is coming back this year. We adored her last year. We really enjoyed this. So channeling the great Jean Stapleton as Edith Bunker is Susan Surtalk, and she is on her accordion, and she is also singing, just like Edith Bunker, the theme song for All in the Family. So here's Susan Surtalk singing "Those Were the Days."
Hi, I'm Susan Surtalk, and I'm going to play the theme song from a famous old TV show called All in the Family, and Archie and Edith Bunker sang this song. By the way, Glenn Miller played songs that made the hit parade. Guys like us, we had it made. Those were the days. And you knew where you were then. Girls were girls and men were men. Mister, we could use a man like Herbert Hoover again. Didn't need no welfare state. Everybody pulled his weight. Cheryl, LaSalle, and Gray. Those were the days. Thank you.
She's the best. The best. The best. I love her.
You know, and Michelle, those were the days.
Yes.
We, you know, we're not going to say our age, but we are old. Well, you know, you can see it on reruns, but those were the days when All in the Family reigned supreme on television. But I'm going to share a little story that's quite humorous. I'm not going to mention names, but while Michelle's busy texting some information to the production booth, I want to just tell a little story that some of our board members here at Chapel Street Players are a little younger than some of the rest of us, and they didn't watch All in the Family. So one of our crew said, I don't know if we want to use this video because her singing seems to be off pitch and is a little screechy. Well, that person never watched the opening credits of All in the Family and didn't realize that she was actually doing a great job of impersonating Gene Stapleton, trying to sing Those Were the Days. Down below on your screen, you see the link to donate to Chapel Street Players. And why is it important during this virtual talent show? Because we're going to select two winners, the two acts that get the most donations. Not dollar amount. You can send $1,000, but if they only get one donation for $1,000, they're not going to win it.
Right.
It is the number of unique donations. So if you know you're the sister or brother of one of the acts, if you send 55 $1 donations, it's only going to count once.
Yeah.
So you make a donation, and then you can go ahead and just tag that you want it to go to that person.
Yes. You just put their name or the act.
Yeah, and you can watch the show later on. You can watch the individual acts on our YouTube, or Facebook, YouTube. Yeah, we'll be talking more about that as the night goes on.
Mm-hmm.
But this is why it's important to make your donations. If your friend, family member is one of our acts, donate and put their name there, and it'll go towards their tally.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's how we had our winners last year, and it was a lot of fun. I guess we'll talk about how we're going to tally that up later.
Yeah, we'll
we have to talk.
Gotta have a little suspense.
I know.
Michelle,
I'm anxious. This is fun. This is good.
So what's up next?
Okay, so we have our VP of volunteerism. Bill King can always put a smile on your face. Honestly, the man is just a wonderful person.
That's why he's the VP of volunteerism.
Exactly.
Because,
like he's so good at it.
You know, when we were nominating him, somebody said, you know, Bill will talk to a tree.
Yes.
And it's so true.
And the tree will probably respond.
And will respond.
Yes. Yes. So he is going to talk and tell a beautiful story, a beautiful love story. So without further ado, we'd like to listen to Bill King and his love story.
Hello, I'm Bill King, and this is a story. Well, maybe a backstory. If you've been stuck in the corner at a party with Susan and me, after a few cocktails, you might have been subjected to our proposal scene. But the real story started about 47 years before that. And if you believe a psychic friend of ours, Laurie, it probably started a couple millennia ago, but that's a whole nother story. We'd been cast as Masha and Vershinin in Chekhov's The Three Sisters. We were plunged into all things Russian by our brilliant psycho-genius director, mentor, Dale Fern. He discouraged, and even bullied out of us any illusions we might have had about method acting. Because what did 20-year-old college students know about anything anyway? So he taught us how to build a character from the outside. Masha learned to walk as if she heard a waltz inside her. Olga needed a yardstick to straighten her back during rehearsals. But I already knew all there was to know about full drag military bearings. But that's a whole other story. What's really important here is the love story, right? Did I mention that in retrospect, we decided that the reason we got the parts was because we looked so damn good together? Maybe. So we learned to waltz to Tchaikovsky. We examined photos of Olga Spasitseva, who was a friend of Dale's, who was a Russian ballerina, a famous Russian ballerina, who, even though she'd had a psychotic break years before and was institutionalized, the line of her neck was perfect. And, of course, Masha and Vershinin fell in love. If you ask us 100 years later what our ultimate favorite perfect moment in the theater ever was, it was the curtain call closing night. The cast, impeccably choreographed, waltzed to the military band music. We drank a champagne toast to the audience, and in a Russian tradition, we dashed the champagne glasses on the stage floor and waltzed over the broken glass as the curtains closed. Favorite theatrical moment? Not our personal one, since by then, Masha and Vershinin and Susan and Bill were kaput. And why am I telling you all this? Because we were shuffling through some storage boxes recently, and we found not just the ancient script, rehearsal notes, and photographs, but a poem by Yevtushenko. It used to hang on the wall of a bedroom many, many years ago. Colors by Yevtushenko, 1962. When your face appeared over my crumbled life, at first I only understood the poverty of what I have. Then its particular light on woods, on rivers, on the sea, became my beginning in the colored world in which I had not yet had my beginning. I'm so frightened. I'm so frightened of the unexpected sunrise finishing, of revelations and tears and excitement finishing. I don't fight it. My love is the fear. I nourish it who can nourish nothing. Love's slipshod watchman. Fear hems me in. I am conscious that these minutes are short, and that the colors in my eyes will vanish when your face sets.
You know, Bill is absolutely adorable. So is his wife,
Yeah.
Susan. And Bill will also be making his own appearance as himself, talking about volunteering, because he is the one who recruits volunteers for Chapel Street Players. We need volunteers in every capacity. So don't think you have to be an actor or actress or a director or know how to design a set or lights. We need so many people in so many different places, which you can also learn about at a special hour we're doing tomorrow at noon. We'll talk more about that later on. So yes, you can see Bill at 4 p.m. Friday afternoon. Tomorrow afternoon, he's going to be doing his little spiel right before our virtual cocktail hour, which you'll also learn more about.
Mm-hmm.
And the night is going so well,
It is.
Michelle. It's
It
going
really
so
is.
well.
Yes.
We've only been in Do More 24 for about 2.5 hours, and already the donations, thank you so much for coming in. Once again, if you'd like to make a donation,
Wow.
my phone just I thought I turned my phone off.
That's all right.
Technology, gotta love it. If you'd like to make a donation, there it is on your screen, chapelstreetplayers.org/give. We're already over $7,000. We're tuned into the headquarters of Do More 24 via our many different volunteers are working on this show tonight, and we're happy that they're doing so. And we're happy that you're joining us here and watching Chapel Street Players virtual talent show. Now, there are so many theaters in the immediate tri-state area. I mean, in Delaware, neighboring Maryland, neighboring Pennsylvania, neighboring New Jersey. And next is an act that is from a group called the Kennett Amateur Theatrical Society. I knew there was one more word. And how do you know that? So this group is in Kennett Square, Pennsilvania, and they do a really unique, and it is unique, not unique in England, unique certainly in America. It's called Panto, short for pantomime, but it's not like watching Marcel Marceau. No. So this is a little recording of one of their pantos that involved Goldilocks and the Three Bears. And if you have a good ear and a good eagle eye, you may just catch somebody you're familiar with in this panto. So without further ado, here is Kat's panto.
In the old days, humans kept their distance, and we didn't have to eat porridge. It's good for us, dear. Porridge contains beta-glucan, which may help lower cholesterol and prevent heart disease. Porridge made from oats also contains magnesium, which may help lower cholesterol, prevent heart disease, and possibly aid in diabetes prevention. But obviously, more studies are needed. Side effects may include diarrhea, constipation, headaches, hives, easily infections, kidney beans, brain worm, neck disease, Cross's alignment, arachnophobia, hydrophobia, vertigo, ague, urinary respiratory worm, and a profound aversion to the word moist. Or any of your friends develop one or more of these symptoms, contact your chef immediately. I don't need a chef, and you know what you can do with your beta-glucan. When I was just a little cub like this one, I thought when I got married I'd be boss. I'd be the patriarchal head of household. That lasted till the first time she got cross. I'd be firm but fair and never dig the garden. My meals would all be cooked and never cold. But then her attitude began to harden, and now I simply do what I am told. If you fancy someone feminine, you'll use up all your adrenaline. Be careful what you wish for or respect. There is many a slipping cup and lip that warning sign is not a lip. I guarantee you won't get no respect. You'll be firm and fair and never take the garden. Your meals will all be cooked and never cold. But then her attitude will start to harden, and then you'll simply do what you were told. If you fancy someone feminine, you'll use up all your adrenaline. Be careful what you wish for or respect. There is many a slippery cup and lip that warning sign is not a lip. I guarantee you won't get no respect. No respect. No respect. No respect. No respect. Respect is not a thing that's guaranteed. No respect. No respect. No respect. No respect. Respect is not a thing that's guaranteed. You'll be firm but fair and never take a garden. Your meals will all be cooked and never then you'll simply do what you are told. And then you'll simply do what you are told. Good evening, friends.
So cute. And I'm not sure if any of you noticed a certain voice in that production. It was my co-host, looking a little bit hairier, Michelle,
bit.
just a little bit. You were, and you changed
Yeah,
gender.
for this show. I
Yeah,
did.
so Michelle was Papa Bear, and
Papa Bear.
and Michelle's going to talk to you because this panto is so unique, and I encourage people to visit. Kennett Square is so beautiful anyway, but we encourage people to visit this Kennett Square and the panto. But before we get to that, Michelle, just a brief interruption. We are doing so well, and so many people have donated over $500. Now, I'm not going to give this away yet, but for those of you who've donated over $500, there's a special treat in store for you, and we haven't even gotten to it yet. But
I know.
But information, it is. And like, 'cause they don't know. They don't know how significant their donation is. But we're going to get to that in just a few more acts. We're going to have a special presentation of that secret information.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we got a comment?
So fun.
Oh
Yes.
yes, we got
The panto is so fun.
Yeah, so let's talk about it. Talk about the Kennett Square.
Kennett Amateur Theatrical Society, also known as CATS, K-A-T-S. It was founded in 2001 by Gary and Caroline Smith. Gary and Caroline moved from England to the United States, to Kennett Square, with their young children at the time. And they founded this new, it was new to the United States. It's a very old tradition in England. And so basically it is, and when we say panto, we're not talking about, again, Marceau. Obviously, we're all talking. But it is a lot of fun. It's usually around the holidays. Kennett's is every January. They've been doing it for 22 years. So, I mean, this is something that, is just...
That's almost as long as you've been on the planet.
A lot longer. I mean, I've been on the planet a lot longer.
No, I was trying to get,
You're
whatever.
cute. Yeah. It's all right. They all know. But anyway, so Gary and Caroline founded this. Now it's run by a group, and they do an amazing job. You should really definitely go and check them out. Their website is callcats.org, K-A-T-S. So you can look them up. You can find them, Kennett Amateur Theater.
I love watching you. You were in it last year, and you, because of COVID, of course, like Chapel Street, you all did virtual.
Yeah, we did a virtual one. Yeah,
it was very clever. It was it's so creative, so clever,
and
written so well.
They write. It's all original material.
Yeah,
they write everything. They write the songs. They write the music. They write it all.
It was brilliant.
It is.
Brilliant.
It's really, really well done.
And the founder?
Yes, Gary. Gary Smith is the founder, with him and his wife, and he will be performing next. So, without further ado, the next is, I want to make sure I get the name right, because he's reading a story from a book that was written in 1913. It's a children's book called The Vintage Tales. The author is Ruth Crossley, and I looked that up because I don't want to be haunted by somebody that we didn't give her the right.
No, we need to give credit where credit is due.
Exactly.
Yes,
so this is Gary Smith reading How Winnie Counted the Stars.
This is a story called How Winnie Counted the Stars, and it begins like this. Can you count the stars? Many little boys and girls have tried, but I've never found one who succeeded. Have you? Let me tell you how Winnie tried to count them. She happened to be alone one evening, and when she was tired of playing with her doll, she looked very thoughtfully out of the window and saw the stars come out, one by one, till every pane in the window seemed to be full of them. There she stood for some time, wondering at their brightness, counting them on her fingers. But very soon, all her fingers were used up. And there were still a great many stars left in the window and nowhere to put them. If only I had a little sister, she said to herself, I could count her fingers too. And there she stood, with a star on every fingertip. Then a bright idea came into her little head, and quick as thought she ran to her brother and borrowed his slate, and there, in the twilight, sat making a map of the little piece of sky she saw by putting a mark for every star on the slate. Soon Mamma came to take her to bed, but still Winnie watched the stars till they grew dimmer through the window. Then they ceased to shine, and Winnie was fast asleep. Next morning, Winnie took the slate to Mamma and asked her to guess what those queer little marks meant. But she couldn't guess, so Winnie had to tell her that they were the stars, and if she counted them, she would know just how many stars there were in the little bit of sky outside their window. Bye-bye.
That was really sweet.
Yeah, it really was.
That was lovely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
We have a really big announcement.
I know. I was talking a little bit about a surprise. So here's the deal. When we're going to take a break, but the two things are going to happen first. First, we're going to have the special announcement that I was hinting at, and I'll give you a little hint more about what that's about. And then, because you might need a break to use the restroom or grab some food or grab some drink, we're going to take a very brief break.
Very quick.
Yeah. And Michelle will tell you about what's going to follow this special announcement. So the special announcement that will be coming up first before the little break interlude is about our new program just for Do More 24 called Take a Seat. Many of you know that through our project with Lang Development, we may be getting a new theater. And if we get a new theater, then we're going to need new chairs. And if we don't get a new theater, we still need new chairs for the old theater. So as an incentive just for tonight, we're launching a capital campaign when all is said and done and approved by the city of Newark for our new theater. We'll be having a huge capital campaign. But just for tonight, we're having a soft launch of that capital campaign with a special incentive, which I should just say it, but I don't want to because we have a wonderful commercial.
We have a wonderful commercial about it.
It's not even a commercial. It's a video.
It explains.
It's a video that's going to come up after we're done
Yes.
yammering on
After
killing this, building this suspense.
Killing it.
Building it. We're building suspense. So there's going to be this special announcement.
Yes.
Brace yourselves, and then Michelle.
So after our commercial, we'd like you to stay tuned and take a look back at Chapel Street Players. While we take a very short break. If you want to get yourself a drink, come on back. But please take a look at our announcement.
Don't go anywhere.
Until we see this announcement.
This announcement.
Yes.
Production booth, show us this special announcement.
As part of the Do More 24 campaign, we are offering a special incentive for our Chapel Street patrons, volunteers, and friends. As many of you have heard, CSP is working with Lang Development to build a brand new theater, and even better news, it has plenty of parking. We have started a soft launch of our capital campaign to assist with the move and new facility. The capital campaign kicks off with Take a Seat. We'll be investing in new auditorium seating, and you have the opportunity to buy a chair and become a permanent fixture without even being there. And if for some reason we remain in our current space, your donations will help us to replace our current seats. During the capital campaign, you will be able to purchase a seat for $1,000. Your donation allows you to select any section of the theater in which to place your seat. But, as part of the Do More 24 campaign, we are cutting the Take a Seat price in half, and you can grab your seat for only $500. This offer is only available during the Do More 24 campaign. Also, your $500 donation does not have to be a single donation. It can be cumulative across the 24-hour period. A plaque on your seat can include your name, your family's name, a name of a loved one, or even your company. Your plaque will remind future generations that your personal commitment makes their theater experience possible. We thank you in advance for your generosity And we would also like to thank Do More 24 Delaware and the many sponsors who are giving additional incentives and bonuses during this event. We would also like to thank the Delaware Division of the Arts for their continued support of artists across the state of Delaware and to Chapel Street Theater.
Well, we hope you grabbed a drink, some food, quick break to the bathroom. We did. In fact, Michelle, I poured myself a drink, and it's very seldom that as president I get to make executive decisions. But because I had a quick drink, I'm making an executive decision. We are already, Do More 24 has only been going on for a little over, not even quite 3 hours yet.
Not quite, no.
And we're already about to hit, if we haven't done so during the break, our goal. So I am making the executive decision tonight to encourage more support of live theater and Chapel Street Players. We are going to up our goal to $10,000. $10,000. This is amazing. It's amazing. It's like 1/5 of our operating budget.
Right.
But it's important. It's important because as you heard in the commercial, we're hopefully going to have a new space, and it's going to need at least about almost 200 chairs.
Yes.
Or we need new chairs in our old space, and if we get stuck in our old space, we need a new roof, we need a new heater, we need a new sprinkler system, we need new everything.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not being facetious.
No, we do.
We can go on stage, but the last show we did where there was a big rainstorm, it was raining in October December show. It was raining on stage at Chapel Street Players at the Playhouse.
On Richard's Head.
On Richard's Head.
God love him.
Yeah. So once again, if you want to make a donation to Chapel Street Players, let's show that banner, www.chapelstreetplayers.org/give.
Yes.
There it is. The magic of our producers.
Our production team is amazing. They're amazing.
Simply amazing. So yes, and now you know the surprise too. If you donated $500, at least $500, and it can be over time.
Yeah.
If you donate tomorrow, once you hit $500, or if you hit 1,000, you get $500. You get your name, the plaque on a chair, as was described. So thank you to anyone donating. Well, any donation is great.
Any donation is great.
But people who want to have their name permanently engraved, or their loved one's name or company name at Chapel Street Players, you'll outlive us all.
Yeah, it's really great. It's a great opportunity to have your name part of our theater.
Absolutely. And Michelle, I want to also we need to thank all the sponsors that make Do More 24 happen. United Way, the matching pool of funds from the Delaware Division of the Arts, which was given money by Spur Impact, and all of our volunteers at Chapel Street, our ushers, our patrons, our everybody, and the talent that submitted for tonight. You've seen half of them. We're at the halfway stretch, 7 acts, 7 more to go. And they're simply amazing. And Michelle, you're amazing because Michelle, you're doing this at this hour, way past your bedtime, I know. And you're going to be doing a little thing at 7. There's another snort. I got a snort during the second hour. At 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, you can join Michelle in our box office.
Yes.
She's going to be in our box office tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. talking about being in the box office and how you volunteer to help Michelle, so I don't lose her as VP of box office, because it's a lot of work for her. So she needs more volunteers. So meanwhile, Michelle, what's next?
The next person that is going to be performing is a return performer from last year's virtual variety show. So we are going to be looking at, I just want to make sure I get the name right here it is. I'm so sorry. You
should have had that drink.
And I did. You see, you got me all flustered.
One drink wonder.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. So it is going to be Lynn Mancini, and she's going to be reading Permanently by Kenneth Koch.
Hello. I'd like to share with you what I think may be the quirkiest poem I've ever read. Permanently by Kenneth Koch. One day, the nouns were clustered in the street. An adjective walked by with her dark beauty. The nouns were struck, moved, changed. The next day, a verb drove up and created a sentence. But each sentence says one thing. For example, although it was a dark, rainy day when the adjective walked by, I shall remember the pure and sweet expression on her face until the day I perish from the green effect of earth. Or, will you please close the window, Andrew? Or, for example, thank you. The pink pot of flowers on the windowsill has changed colors recently to light yellow due to the heat from the boiler factory which exists nearby. In the springtime, the sentences and the nouns lay silently on the grass. A lonely conjunction here or there would call, and, but the adjective did not emerge. As the adjective is lost in the sentence, so I am lost in your eyes, ears, nose, and throat. You've enchanted me with a single kiss, which can never be undone until the destruction of language.
Well,
Excellent.
yeah,
job.
and thank
Yeah.
you so much, Lynn, and all the other people who submitted last year and who submitted again this year.
Yeah.
And once again, the way it works, we'll keep repeating this, is if you really like one of the acts, it's sort of like a talent competition. If you like an act, then you can make a donation to Chapel Street Players. It's not about the amounts of dollars, it's about the amount of unique donations that go to each act. And there's the screen where you can see where to donate, and you can donate up till 2 p.m. tomorrow, and we'll have 2 winners of this variety show.
Yep.
Now, Lynn was a returning face,
Yes.
but we have a new person. This person apparently knows our treasurer, Zach Jackson, and he is a dentist. This man is multifaceted.
In Kennett Square.
And what are the odds?
Yes,
It's
right?
small world,
Yeah.
small world. A dentist in Kennett Square, and he's going to be singing, and he's singing the Beatles song,
Amazing.
which, the Beatles is a quartet. So it was just him.
Mm-hmm.
But believe it or not, he sings with 4 different voices, 4-part harmony by oneself. I can't even do harmony on stage. I can't. I'm terrible at harmony. This guy does 4 parts, and it's all him.
All him.
But a singing dentist, Michelle, it reminds me of a joke once. Maybe a certain dame did it, of a singing dentist named Phil McCavity.
There's nothing like a good joke, and that was nothing like a good joke.
You weren't going to snort for me on that one.
I'm not snorting for that one.
No, clearly not. So, without further ado, here is the singing dentist, Dr. Joe Ekman, singing the Beatles song, "Oh, Darling."
Ooh, oh, darling, please believe me, I'll never do you no. Believe me when I tell you, I'll never do you no. Oh, darling, if you leave me, I'll never make it alone. Believe me when I tell you, don't ever leave me alone. Believe me, darling.
Excellent, and the clock is chiming.
Yes.
It's the music continues, Michelle. The
Yes,
music
it does.
continues. He's a good dentist. If Kennett Square wasn't so far, maybe I'd have him fill my cavity. See, that got a laugh out of you. So I didn't even plan that one. It's
Yeah.
the unplanned one.
It's
It's
the
the
unplanned one.
unscripted.
Yeah.
So what's up next, Michelle?
So next we have our very own Michelle Cullen. Michelle Cullen is the VP of Artistic Development here at CSP. She is going to be doing another. So each hour we're doing something different. She and Judy David will be doing.
Who's our chair of conduct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They'll be doing their hour at noon tomorrow for lunch.
Noon on Friday.
And it's called Lunch. I'm sorry, I want to make sure I get the right
Lunch
name.
in the Limelight.
Lunch in the Thank you.
You're
Lunch
welcome.
In the Limelight.
Unscripted.
We're going to be learning all about what it takes to make a show, and it's a lot. It really is.
It is.
So,
well, we're gonna. I know for a fact we're gonna hear about set construction or set design.
Oh, good.
And I'm going to do a little bit about set decoration.
Cool.
And part of you're in the show that Michelle is directing.
Show, yes.
Come Back to the Five and Dime, Jimmy Dean.
Yes.
And we're going to hear for some of the actors, or I should say actresses, because it's all actresses except one actor in the show. So yeah, tune in tomorrow for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it. So here is Michelle Cullen, and she is going to be reading a monologue. The monologue is very timely, and it's about a woman who is talking about her husband after his gender transformation. Reassignment, yes, thank you.
Surgery.
After his gender reassignment surgery. So this monologue is called...
the monologue doesn't have a name. It's
the monologue,
show.
The show is called
show.
Looking for Normal, and it was written by Jane Anderson. So here's Michelle with Looking for Normal.
2 days ago, Roy and I celebrated our 26th wedding anniversary. You'd think with his surgery coming up, it would have put a damper on our celebration, but we decided to face it head on. Roy gave me a pair of earrings made out of his cufflinks, and I gave him my thing of pearls. Patty Ann painted our nails for us, and Wayne, he gave us a matching set of towels that say hers and hers. Roy and I went to dinner at our favorite place, the Pioneer Grill. They didn't have our table ready, so we sat at the bar, ate pretzels, and had 2 Manhattans apiece. A guy getting just as sloshed as us asked us if we wanted company. No, thank you, I said. We're doing just fine on our own. You know, he said, if I was here with a buddy of mine and a lady came over and wanted to break in, us guys, we'd drop each other in a heartbeat. But you women, he said, you stick by each other. I admire that. And then he gave us each a sloppy kiss on the cheek and moved on. When they finally had our table ready, it wasn't the booth like we asked for. Because we were 2 women, they put us all the way over by the coffee arms. I was about to make a stink, but then Roy leaned over and whispered, let's blow this dump. So we left and had burgers at a drive-in. And then we went to the mall and watched a movie, held hands in the dark. When we got home, we got into bed and read a little. And I said to Roy, can I look at you one last time? He lifted up his nightie and leaned back on the bed. His male parts were all soft and curled on his leg like a little boy's. They stopped working ages ago. We found ways to enjoy each other. I mean, frankly, I was wondering why I was having them changed. So I said that to Roy. He said, what if I ever lose you, Irma? I can't go out into the world half-baked. Sweet Roy, sweet soul. What we do for love.
Amazing.
I saw when Michelle did that on stage at Chapel Street Players. I'm getting a little emotional because it was so timely and so powerful. And speaking of powerful, Chapel Street Players is more than putting on a show. We also have a wonderful program called Next. and it's a group of local playwrights, some who've had shows done, some who are new at it, trying out for the first time, writing a play, and it's called Next, and the group meets the third Saturday of the month, and people share their plays and actors read through them, and they also Next puts on the 24-hour, the George Cope 24-hour playwright one act festival. Unfortunately, it was scheduled for this March, but because of COVID, it was in protocols at the time. It made it impossible for us to do it next year. But we're hoping to get a new one on, a new festival, Cope Festival, on soon. And speaking of writing, this next person is Pat Cullinane. Now, Pat is a former board member. She was our treasurer. Sadly, she and her husband transferred to South Carolina for work, but thank
Sadly
God.
for us.
Sadly for us.
They're happy.
They're happy, yes. They're near their grandchildren. They're very happy. Yeah, so we're being selfish. Sadly for us, because Pat she's a wonderful actress, but not only being an actress and a board member, but Pat is also a playwright. And so for this competition, for our virtual talent show, Pat wrote her own monologue. I got to look over here quickly. What is the name of it? Oh, there it is. Pat wrote her own monologue called The Question. So here's Pat Cullinane with The Question.
Hi, I'm Patricia Cullinane, and I would like to do a monologue for you that I wrote. So it is called The Question. Well, that's a very good question. You would think that I would have an answer to that question, but I don't. Oh, I'm doing just what my mama says. She says I'm wishy-washy. She says I need to get my life together, that I need to move on. Well, I ask you, how am I supposed to do that? How am I supposed to get my life together when some hussy has stolen it from me? How am I supposed to move on when my own husband won't even answer my calls? I mean, I'm sorry, but I think the least you can do for a person who has washed your underwear for years is answer the phone when they call. Besides, Mama's one to talk. She still tells people Daddy is on the road. Longest road I ever heard tell of. Been on it since I was in pigtails. Do you know that I called my husband last week and she had the nerve to answer the phone? Told me, his wife, that I need to stop calling. That I need to get over him. Well, here's an idea. How about you get out from under him? How about you take your fake tan, your fake nails, your fake boobs, and you go find someone else's husband to steal? Last time I checked, I am still his wife. I am still married. I don't know, she just got him in some sort of trance or something. I told Mama, she's not prettier than me. She's not even thinner. Mama said, well, she's newer. And now Mama says I am starting to let myself go. Well, I ask you, am I not allowed to enjoy myself? I mean, maybe I'm eating a little too much, but I'm sitting at home every night with no one to talk to except the cat. And even she's getting bored and refusing to come out from under the bed. I mean, am I not allowed to treat myself once in a while? You know what? I think that I do have an answer to your question. Yes. I will have fries with that.
You know, I've not been able to see Pat, face to face since she moved to South Carolina, but it was so wonderful. She's so, and that was brilliant. I
Really,
mean,
really good.
not just writing it, but then her acting it. Yes, exactly. And that was one of our acts, our 14 acts. Michelle, believe it or not, it's hard to believe, we are down to the home stretch with just 3 acts to go. Once again, we're going to pick the top 2 winners. When we say winners, everyone has been great tonight, but the 2 acts that get the most unique donations tonight and through tomorrow, and we'll talk more about that later.
Until 2 o'clock.
Until 2 o'clock, they will win a prize from Chapel Street. So make a donation. There it is on the bottom of your screen. You make a donation. It's not about the dollar amount, but the quantity of unique donations for the act. That act will win. 2 acts will win. It's very exciting. Very exciting that we have already surpassed not even the first 12 hours, not even the first 10 hours. We already surpassed our goal. I mean, last year we made almost $6,000. So we're like, okay, maybe this year we'll get 7,500, but we've already passed it. So we upped the goal to $10,000. If you missed it, we'll show it again later on. But for a donation, which is just for Do More 24, just for this 24 hours, because once we launch our capital campaign, it's going to be double. For just a donation of $500, you can be part of Chapel Street forever. $500 buys you a new seat. Not just a seat, not your seat. You still got to reserve a seat, but you get a plaque with the name, your name, or loved one's name in memory of your company, what have you. We'll work out the details. We'll contact you about that donation. But for a donation of $500, a plaque on a chair in our current or our hopefully new space.
Yes. A new comfortable seat.
A new comfortable seat.
Right.
That is very important too. Very important. So we just saw Pat Cullinane, who was a former board member, and I believe we have 2 chair people coming up.
Yes.
Let's
2
talk
volunteers.
about that. Yeah, let's talk
our
about that,
volunteers
Michelle.
that are going to be performing next are Susie Moak. We talked about her in our pre-show.
Yeah, in our pre-show. Yeah.
So we were saying that she did this last year. She did our virtual variety show last year.
And was one of the winners.
She was one of the winners. Yes. She got the most unique donations for her performance last year. This year, she is paired up with another Chapel Street volunteer, Walt Osborne. So today, we're going to be listening to Susie Moak, who is accompanied on the piano by Walt Osborne. And they're going to be singing Smile by Charlie Chaplin.
Smile though your heart is aching, smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you'll see the sun come shining through for you. Light up your face with gladness, hide every trace of sadness, although a tear may be ever so near. That's the time you must keep on trying. Smile, what's the use in crying? You'll find that life is still worthwhile if you just light up your face with gladness, hide every trace of sadness, although a tear may be ever so near. That's the time you must keep on trying. Smile, what's the use of crying? You'll find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Thank you.
They make me smile. They really do. They're the best.
Yeah. Everybody at Chapel Street Players is smiling, and we hope that you are watching and smiling as well. We're all smiling at Chapel Street Players because we surpassed our original goal of $7,500, and we're going to keep going. We're going to keep giving and smiling, hopefully making a goal of $10,000. There it is at the bottom of your screen, chapelstreetplayers.org/give. Only 2 more. It's getting exciting.
I know.
There's only 2 more acts to go.
Yes.
But look how close we are already. Look at that
getting
wonderful graphic
Yes.
there.
Yes.
We're almost there too. That's
And
so,
remember, if you want to ask us questions, don't get too personal.
No.
But ask us questions or
you know, like if
comments.
you want to know what color Michelle's boots are, you know, because I can see them under the table. Yeah, no, please do, because we're so happy to be with you at this time. And you know, you're going to learn more about Chapel Street Players tomorrow at noon on Lunch in the Limelight. But if you have any questions about how to make a donation, because it can be a little tricky on the platform. Maybe you don't want to use your credit card. Some people don't want to use a credit card online. There is a way to let us know that you're writing a check and you're going to send us a check before the end of March. So please ask a question during the next video. You can send your questions in and we will answer them after this upcoming video. Yeah, the check is a good one. Check, or you want to hand deliver us cash. Again, because, you know,
I get it.
Seriously, with identity theft and you know, just the online scam, some people are afraid to do a credit card donation, which we understand. So if you'd like to help us out in other ways or volunteer, we'll answer any questions you have. So feel free to ask. As you watch now this next bit, first of all, the next act is our treasurer.
Yes.
Thank God. Yes. He is thrilled.
I'm sure he's happy.
If he's watching right now,
I hope he's happy.
I hope he's watching. I hope he's thrilled. He's going to have a lot of work to do by the next board meeting. It's Zach Jackson, and he directed this whole program last year. This year, he was multitasking so many things. He couldn't help us out, but he helped us out by submitting. He's such a great actor.
He really is.
Was in House of Blue Leaves, 1984. So many others. He's directing this year's fundraiser, the Putnam County Spelling Bee. Multifaceted, multi-talented man. He made a video.
He did,
which is kind of fun. You know, he could have just read it like some of the other readings tonight, but he made a video of while he read a very classic poem from the very classic Alice in Wonderland, and it touches me because I wrote a show, one of many at Chapel Street Players. And I love this poem, and I put it in the show. But Michelle, you've been in my originals, and you know how I rewrite constantly.
All the time.
Well, yeah. See, if I snorted, I'd snort. I would have snorted then.
There we go.
But I don't snort. I leave that to you.
Thank you.
So yeah. So this poem was in one of my shows, and even on opening night, Michelle. And then after opening night, I cut it. And
all right, the actors love that.
They do.
Oh, we love that
they
so
love
much
me
when
so
you
much.
change our lines.
Here's this scene. No, this scene is gone now. Skip to this scene. But you know, without further ado, let's skip to the actual act. Here is Zach Jackson, Chapel Street Players treasurer, reading the poem "The Walrus and the Carpenter" from Alice in Wonderland.
The Walrus and the Carpenter by Lewis Carroll. The sun was shining on the sea, shining with all his might. He did his very best to make the billows smooth and bright. And this was odd because it was the middle of the night. The moon was shining sulkily because she thought the sun had got no business to be there after the day was done. It's very rude of him, she said, to come and spoil the fun. The sea was wet as wet could be. The sands were dry as dry. You could not see a cloud because no cloud was in the sky. No birds were flying overhead. There were no birds to fly. The walrus and the carpenter were walking close at hand. They wept like anything to see such quantities of sand. If this were only cleared away, they said, it would be grand. If 7 maids with 7 mops swept it for half a year, do you suppose, the walrus said, that they could get it clear? I doubt it, said the carpenter, and shed a bitter tear. Oh, oysters, come and walk with us, the walrus did beseech. A pleasant walk, a pleasant talk, along the briny beach. We cannot do with more than 4 to give a hand to each. The eldest oyster looked at him, but never a word he said. The eldest oyster winked his eye and shook his heavy head. meaning to say he did not choose to leave the oyster bed. But 4 young oysters hurried up, all eager for the treat. Their coats were brushed, their faces washed, their shoes were clean and neat. And this was odd because, they hadn't any feet. 4 other oysters followed them, and yet another 4. And thick and fast they came at last, and more and more and more, all hopping through the frothy waves and scrambling to the shore. The walrus and the carpenter walked on a mile or so, and then they rested on a rock conveniently low, and all the little oysters stood and waited in a row. "The time has come," the walrus said, "to talk of many things, of shoes and ships and sealing wax, of cabbages and kings, and why the sea is boiling hot, and whether pigs have wings." "But wait a bit," the oysters cried, "before we have our chat, for some of us are out of breath, and all of us are fat." "No hurry," said the carpenter. They thanked him much for that. "A loaf of bread," the walrus said, "is what we chiefly need. Pepper and vinegar, besides, are very good indeed. Now, if you're ready, oysters dear, we can begin to feed." "But not on us," the oysters cried, turning a little blue. "After such kindness, that would be a dismal thing to do." "The night is fine," the walrus said. "Do you admire the view? It was so kind of you to come, and you are very nice." The carpenter said nothing but, "Cut us another slice. I wish you were not quite so deaf. I've had to ask you twice." "It seems a shame," the walrus said, "to play them such a trick, after we brought them out so far and made them trot so quick." The carpenter said nothing but, "The butter's spread too thick." "I weep for you," the walrus said. "I deeply sympathize." With sobs and tears he sorted out those of the largest size, holding his pocket handkerchief before his streaming eyes. "Oh, oysters," said the carpenter, "you've had a pleasant run. Shall we be trotting home again?" But answer came there none, and this was scarcely odd because they'd eaten every one.
He did an excellent job. Zach did an excellent job. I love listening to Zach's voice. However, I miss seeing his face. He has the best dimples. And maybe he was having a bad hair day or something. I don't know. But I wanted to see his face. That's all right. I'll bug him later.
Maybe he was worried about what shoes he was wearing in the video.
The shoes.
Yeah, thank you, Zach, for that. And so, believe it or not, Michelle, we are down to our last act.
Yes.
But stay tuned after last act because we've got a lot of special announcements. If you're just tuning in and you want to vote for your favorite act, vote meaning you make a donation, not about the dollar amount. It could be $1. It could be $1, $2. It's about the number of unique donations each act gets. This last act, sort of like you and your connections to the cats and the Pantos, and you got them to submit. I have a good friend named Kate Gordon, and she runs an artistic organization in Havre de Grace, Maryland called Rogue Swan. Mm-hmm. My friend Dame Edna, the understudy.
I do know her.
Rogue Swan, when Dame Edna understudy was quarantined, she did her show, virtual show, and Rogue Swan made some appearances on that. They're so talented, so talented. They create music videos, and they did this all during quarantine. They just were amazing, and so they filmed videos all over Havre de Grace, which is a beautiful town, and how it's like watching a music video. Yeah. Remember back when MTV. When MTV actually did music videos?
Music videos.
It's the quality of those videos.
It is.
It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So without further ado, here is Rogue Swan from Havre de Grace, Maryland, with the greatest show from the greatest show on earth. Enjoy.
Ladies and gents, this is the moment you waited for. And searching in the dark, your sweat soaking through the floor. And buried in your bones, there's an ache that you can't ignore. You're taking your breath, you're still in your mind. And all that was real is left behind. Don't fight it, it's coming for you, running at you. It's only this moment, don't care what comes after. Your fever dream, can't you see it getting closer? Just surrender cause you feel the feeling taking over. This fire is freedom, it's flooding open. You're a preacher in the pulpit and you'll fight the ocean. It's like a dragon in the brick of every wall and holding on. Tell me, do you wanna go? Where it's covered in all the colored lights, where the runaways are running the night, impossible coming true, we're taking over you. Woo! This is the greatest show. We light it up, we won't come down. And the sun can't stop us now. We're watching it coming true, we're taking over you. Woo! This is the greatest show. The lost will become these renegades in the rain. When the lost get found in the crowd of a second king. Don't fight it, it's coming for you, running at you. It's only this moment, don't care what comes happening. It's running outside and anything that you know. Just surrender cause you're coming and you want to go. It's covered in all the colored lights. Where the runaways are running the night. Impossible coming through, intoxicating you. Oh, this is the greatest show. We light it up, we won't come down. The sun can't stop us now. Watching it come true, we're taking over you. Oh, this is
Wow, that was a great act.
It was an amazing.
Michelle and I were talking while we were watching, how many different shots, and when Chapel Street Players was doing our virtual season during COVID, we know the complexities of putting together a video with the magic of Peter Quo and his editing. But
Yeah.
to look at those shots, when they're standing there towards the end on the rocks and the woods and
they're all in
the
sync.
the dancing is insane.
Mhm.
I mean, excuse me. It's just truly amazing. And Michelle, this virtual variety show this year has also been great. It's
More than
been-
great. It's
it's
been outstanding.
It's been a great show, and it's been a great show not just because thank you to all the 14 acts that submitted for this year's show, but it's also been a great show because during the show we went over our goal of $7,500, which was just
We
amazing.
did that in the
Thanks
first
to-
hour.
Yeah, thanks to people like you. There again on the bottom of your screen, if you'd like to donate, there's 14 acts, and you can contribute money, which Michelle will talk about that. So
You want to take a look at the numbers?
yeah,
Yeah.
So what are we up to now?
Right now, we have raised a total of $8,220.
And that was our latest update from the booth.
Yes.
It could have gone
It
up.
could have gone up from then. Yeah.
People watching Rogue
Mhm.
Swan or
Absolutely.
Zach's
Absolutely.
Walrus and the Carpenter, it could have gone up even further. Michelle, because I finished my drink during the Rogue Swan, I'm going to make another executive decision because I can. Seldom do I get to do what I want at Chapel Street Players, believe it or not. And so I'm upping our goal once again. I trust, because we've got so much more to come.
We do.
We have our midnight hour with Cindy Starcher talking about ushering. We have our 7 a.m. with you talking about box office. We have our lunch in the limelight at 12 noon with Michelle Cullen and Judy David talking about behind the scenes. We've got our 4 p.m. pre-cocktail hour with Bill King talking about volunteering. And then at 5 o'clock with our host, Brian Touchette, we have our virtual cocktail hour at 5.
Yes.
This is just our second event. We
I
had
know.
the 6 o'clock intro message from Dr. Renee O'Leary, legendary Renee O'Leary. So you know what, Michelle? Right now, and maybe we'll do it again. But right now, I'm upping Chapel Street Players' goal for Do More 24 to $12,500. Not $13,000 is a bad number. $12,500. And you know what? I trust it.
I think that's good.
I trust
We
people.
still have a whole other day. I think it's wonderful.
It was so nice.
Our new goal is
There
there.
we
It
go.
is.
It was so nice to open our doors again in September after being closed for over a year.
Yeah.
And people came and they, when we had our first show, and Kathleen Kimber, who was the director of the show, Moon Over the Brewery, when she did our traditional curtain speech and said, "We're so happy to be back doing live theater," it practically got a standing
It
ovation.
did. It was
And
so true.
because people want live theater, and without your help, we're all volunteer, nonprofit. No one gets paid, but
we love it. We love it.
We
We
gotta
love
pay the
theater.
bills.
Yeah,
We gotta
and we-
pay the bills.
Got to pay the bills. Yes. Absolutely. Yes.
So
if you want to continue,
getting choked up. I'm getting
Are
choked.
you getting verklempt?
I'm getting verklempt.
Do you
Yeah,
need a
but
drink?
no.
Okay, good.
But let's talk about. You're going to talk about how to vote one last time for these acts and what it means.
Yeah, so you can continue to make donations. Please continue to make donations. And if you would like to make a donation toward a specific act, you can do so. When you make your donation, just type in there that you want it for Rogue Swan or Cats or whatever one that you enjoyed the most. And again, they're individual donations. So it doesn't matter the amount as long as, the people who get the most individual donations will win a prize from Chapel Street Players. So as an appreciation for putting this stuff out there. I mean, some of our patrons have acted before, some of them haven't.
No.
Some of them are just our patrons and they just like watching us. So I think I really do appreciate all of everybody who contributed to.
Contributed?
Thank you.
What wine did you have during the
It
break?
was just
And,
a little white wine. Sorry.
white wine.
Yeah. But anybody that contributed to Chapel Street and our virtual variety show, there is the website that you can donate again, chapelstreetplayers.org/give. Please again, anything you can donate is wonderful. And the more individual donations we get, the better it is for our performers. And our performers did such an amazing job. And I think I'd love to thank every single one of them. They did a great job.
Oh, Dr.
Jacqueline!
Joe, what did you say? Thanks so much, Ron.
Allowing me to be a part of the variety show. Best of luck in bringing in lots and for the oh, that's wonderful.
Well,
Thank
and
you, Doc.
you know, I don't know if Zach, as I mentioned, is directing Putnam Spelling Bee.
Yes.
And so perhaps the
Dr.
Dr. Joe should audition
Yes.
for, you know.
We
and
have auditions coming up for the Putnam County
I
Spelling Bee.
don't know
Yes.
when they are.
I have it written down.
You look it up while I talk about when we're announcing winner. So Michelle said, you know, you can vote for your favorite act, including our singing dentist, and we will announce the 2 winners at. I mentioned it before, but I'm going to mention it again. We're going to announce the 2 winners at our virtual happy hour, 5 o'clock on our YouTube channel. Brian Touchette, our secretary of the board, director, light designer, set designer, extraordinary tech director at Cab Calloway School of the Arts. Brian Touchette will be hosting our cocktail hour where many of the participants that you saw from Chapel Street Players throughout the 24-hour time period will be sharing cocktail recipes, their favorite wines, their favorite beers, and we will be counting down the last 60 minutes of the Do More 24 campaign tomorrow night, Friday, 5 p.m. on our YouTube channel. So do we know, Michelle, when the audition dates are?
So the audition dates for Putnam County Spelling Bee are March 22nd and 24th at 7 p.m. at the theater.
At the theater.
If you go to our website, you'll be able to see it. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, it tells you when the auditions are. Also, I do want to mention, too, that we will be tallying up these donations for our individual performances this evening until 2 o'clock tomorrow.
Yes, 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock tomorrow, we'll be tallying them up so that way we can, at the 5 o'clock hour, announce our
Right, and you don't have to watch. If you're just tuning in, you missed the some acts. You don't have to watch the whole virtual show. You don't have to see me and Michelle banter and snort and drink and cough. No, you can watch each individual act is posted. Each act is posted uniquely on our YouTube page, and there it is, youtube.com/Chapel Street Players. So you can. If you want to review all the acts and go, hey, I like this one, I'm going to send a donation. That's what you do. So coming up, we're rolling towards the end. Michelle, what are we going to do before the end credits?
Before we finish everything, in case you missed it, because maybe you tuned in late or you missed it, we had a special announcement, and I think it's really important to go over this again. And it explains the information that we have in this little clip explains it so well. Brian Touchette did a great job with that, I think. And
with the Take a Seat.
Yes, it is a special announcement, and it's called our Take a Seat campaign. So if you would please listen to our announcement for the Take a Seat campaign. And
it's only, stay tuned, only 1 minute and a few seconds long. So we're going to say good night to you. Please stay tuned for our credits. We're going to say good night to you as you sit back and enjoy this last minute and few seconds of our show with this great, wonderful thing you can do to support Chapel Street Players. Thank you for joining us tonight. Stay tuned for the end credits, and we hope to see you at our other events during Do More 24. Good night.
As part of the Do More 24 campaign, we are offering a special incentive for our Chapel Street patrons, volunteers, and friends. As many of you have heard, CSP is working with Lang Development to build a brand new theater, and even better news, it has plenty of parking. We have started a soft launch of our capital campaign to assist with the move and new facility. The capital campaign kicks off with Take a Seat. We'll be investing in new auditorium seating, and you have the opportunity to buy a chair and become a permanent fixture without even being there. And if for some reason we remain in our current space, your donations will help us to replace our current seats. During the capital campaign, you will be able to purchase a seat for $1,000. Your donation allows you to select any section of the theater in which to place your seat. But As part of the Do More 24 campaign, we are cutting the Take a Seat price in half, and you can grab your seat for only $500. This offer is only available during the Do More 24 campaign. Also, your $500 donation does not have to be a single donation. It can be cumulative across the 24-hour period. A plaque on your seat can include your name, your family's name, a name of a loved one, or even your company. Your plaque will remind future generations that your personal commitment makes their theater experience possible. We thank you in advance for your generosity, and we would also like to thank Do More 24 Delaware and the many sponsors who are giving additional incentives and bonuses during this event. We would also like to thank the Delaware Division of the Arts for their continued support of artists across the state of Delaware and to Chapel Street Theater.